So I'm just going to do a couple more edits to the project that I've already got started, just to demonstrate a couple more things. So I'm going to use this school sounds project that I started on Tuesday. Okay. And so we can listen to this real quick. So I have some background music here. I have the hallway sound of just like students talking. I have the school bell sound, and then I have some audio that I recorded of myself talking. This is my sound. Oh, let's go to the beginning. This is my sound portrait of BMCC. I've just arrived in class, and I'm starting to do a demo. So that's everything I've got so far. Any questions or anything you guys want me to review to start with? No, everybody's good? All right. So a couple of things that I noticed people trying to do. So one thing is kind of the difference between these tracks. So for example, let's say I wanted to make the school bell sound play again at the end. If I wanted to make a copy of this, I can select the audio in this track, or I could select just a part of it, whatever I wanted to copy. And if I want to repeat it, I can just do edit, copy, and then I have to move my playhead. So if I wanted to paste it over here, I have to move this over here first, and then I can just click paste, or I can do Command V, Command C, Command V. And so now I have two copies of the same audio on the same track. And so if I want them to sound exactly the same, that's fine. If I want to do some light automation, like maybe I want this school bell over here to be quieter than the first school bell, I can also do that on the same track. But if I want to do more destructive editing or like panning or other things like that, I need to create a new track. So I can also just select this and just drag it down. Or at least I thought I could. Maybe I need to make a new track first. Okay, so it won't let me, I can go to other tracks. So I need to make a new track. So I'll go to tracks and add new. I can see that this is stereo because there's two sides, right? So I'm gonna wanna go to stereo track. And so that'll create a new track down here. And now I can select this clip of my audio and drag it down. And you can see one of the nice things that it does is it kind of remembers where it was before, and it will give me this little yellow line to line it up. But I can also, if I don't want it to move, I can hold Shift. But it won't let me go down. I think they've changed, there we go. They've changed a lot of the key commands here. Okay, so it's Command now. So if I hold Command and move it down, it'll stay in the same place. I can't move it left and right. So I'm just holding Command on the keyboard. I can move it down here. And then I can do other edits, like I can change the pan. Like maybe I want this one to go all the way to the left. And so now my first school bell will sound like that. And my second school bell sounds like that. So with Audacity, I'm a little bit limited there. Like I can't automate my effects on one track. So if I want to have different sounds or different effects on the same sound, I need to create a new track and move the audio down. This could also, if I wanted to like overlap the same sound, this is also what I would need to do. Like if I wanted to have two school bells, like maybe I can move this one to the right and have this one to the left, and so I could. This is my get an effect like that if I want to layer the same sound on top of itself. All right, so another thing that I may want to do is do some equalization. So this is a little bit more of a complex topic. that is a little bit harder to master, but I'll go over a couple examples in case there's some thing that you might want to do here. So it's a little bit like doing normalization or amplifying or decreasing the loudness of a sound, but we can do it across the different frequencies of the sound. So I'm going to do it on my speaking part. And we can, remember, we can go to the spectrogram view and get like a snapshot of the frequencies in my the recording of my voice. And so we can use that if we want. It's a little bit hard to read, but we can get kind of a sense of where those frequencies are, and then we can use our graphic EQ to edit some of those frequencies if we want to get rid of some of them or make some of them louder. So once I select this audio, I can go to Effect, and there's a couple different EQs here. I'm going to use the graphic EQ. And what this looks like is just like a whole bunch of different sliders. And you can see that these sliders correspond to the frequencies of our audio. So it's hard to see them both at the same time, but you can see in our spectrogram, you know, the very low frequencies start at 20 and they go up to 20,000. And we see the same thing in our graphic EQ. The very low frequencies are around here, 20, and then they go up, and then at the, you know, at the high end we have 20,000. And so I can actually remove specific frequencies from my audio. So there's a couple of things I can do here. I can flatten this and it'll return to what this looks like. But then I can start moving stuff around. So it'll be easier to hear things like if I take out all the high frequencies. I'll just take out all the high frequencies just so you can hear the difference. And then do a preview. So when we take out all the high frequencies, a lot of the noise is gone. It sounds like I'm talking inside of like a little box. So we probably don't want to take out all of the high frequencies, but if we take out just a few of the really high frequencies, we'll get rid of some noise that doesn't really ever intersect with my speaking voice range. This is my sound portrait of the MCC. I've just arrived in. So that's actually a pretty useful difference between the original audio recording. This is my sound portrait of the MCC. I've just arrived in. So if I take out all the low frequencies, you'll hear what that sounds like. This is my sound portrait of the MCC. I've just arrived in. So what we hear there is just the higher frequencies, and it sounds more tinny, like I'm talking to, you know, an old phone or an old tape recorder or something like that. So that could be a good effect, but it could also be a good way to get rid of some of the lower end noise. And typically if you're like mastering a track, what you would want to do is maybe bring up some of the mids a little bit, take out some of the lows. So you don't necessarily have to completely remove them, but you might see something like this. So I'll take out a little bit of each one of these low frequencies. And then I might boost, let's look at my, so most of my vocal range is like around 400, 500, something like that. So I might boost those a little bit to make my voice louder than the noise in the recording. And it may be a pretty subtle difference, but it may make it easier to hear. This is my sound portrait of the MCC. I've just arrived in. And then maybe I'll take out some of the higher frequencies and see how that sounds. This is my sound portrait of the MCC. I've just arrived in. So it's a subtle difference, but it sounds a little bit cleaner. So I'm gonna, when I click OK, remember that this is destructive editing. So once I do this, I can't change it. I mean, I can undo it, but I can't change it if I, you know, continue to work with my audio. So when I click OK, we should see our spectrogram change a little bit. And so you can notice a lot of the, let me undo that real quick. So when I do that, a lot of these little, we see a lot of the kind of stuff up here, these little blue parts just disappear. So that's probably some noise that's good to get rid of. And then we also see this kind of like low end stuff disappear as well. So that's a pretty good, thing that we would want to do with our vocals if we want them to pop a little bit more. So let's go back to waveform view. And I'll save this. And so those are a couple things that you can do to kind of clean up the sound a little bit. I think we already covered the noise gate. Trying to think if there's anything else. We might want to put a little reverb on the voice so we can listen to what that sounds like. I don't know if I already showed this one, but let's listen to it. This is my sound portrait. So that's a little too much reverb. Let's turn the room size down a bit. This is my still too much. This is my sound. And let's bring the stereo width down. This is my set. It's a little bit too much. It sounds a little goofy. Let's see what it sounds like in context. Portrait of the MCC. Yeah, okay, so I don't think the reverb is really doing a lot for us, but that's okay. I think that's pretty good as far as things that we would want to be able to do. So I'm just going to go over exporting again, just to kind of review that real quick. And then I'll let you guys just work on your projects. So I've got my sound ready to go. I'll go to File, go to Export. And so I just want to export as MP3. You can export as WAV or OGG if you want a higher sound value, but as we talked about, or sound quality. But as we talked about on Tuesday, the MP3 is going to be the most kind of universally accessible. It's going to play on the most devices and different contexts. So for something like this, it's probably the best format. So I'm going to do MP3. I'm going to stick with the default presets and click Save. And it's already there, so I'm just going to say Replace. If you want to save the old version, you could just change the name of this. Maybe call this like Edit 1 or something like that. So we can save that. And so then I'll leave Audacity. So later in class, we'll post these on Discord so we can just see everybody's progress before you post the final version. And so if I want to add this to Discord, I can just drag my sound in here. Uh-oh. It says the max file size is 8 megabytes. Oh, because I accidentally dragged my AUP3. What I want is my edit. So that is 440. That's going to be fine. And so I can say, here's my first edit and post it here. And we should be able to listen to it right in Discord. And so, yeah, that's it for what we'll do today. I already covered how to post on the Open Lab, so you can review that video if you still need to do that. But for today, we'll just stop a little bit early and post where we are on Discord so we can just hear what you guys have done so far. And then the final version will be due on Tuesday. All right, any questions? Anything I should go over? Everybody's good? Okay. Let me stop recording.